You can have streams of income flowing in from various ways to sustain your family and to make your dreams come true from that perspective, because money is not where dreams come from, but it makes it a whole lot easier. Can I get an amen?
Oh, amen, amen. Well, listen, when I tell you, hello, 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 hello. Listen, I don't know if you're catching this live. I don't know if you're catching the replay, but let me just say that today is a big deal. However you got here, you want to say, oh, I'm so glad I came across this video. So listen, guys, my name is Carmen Ray, and I'm the founder of Be Well Magazine. Let me tell you a little bit about Be Well Magazine. So Be Well Magazine is committed to helping women entrepreneurs from all different backgrounds to be well connected, to be well informed, and to be well inspired. So I want you to know that my incredible guest that I have today, Dr. Krystylle Richardson, is the package. She exemplifies everything about Be Well Magazine. This is an example of how we can connect. One of my dearest friends here in Arizona, Beverly Brown, was supposed to be a speaker at my event. Y'all follow me? And she couldn't speak. So she could have just said, I'm not available. But because that's my girl, see, in entrepreneurship, you got to have women that got your back. She said, let me recommend someone. Let me recommend someone that will definitely be able to do justice to your event, your 10th annual retreat. So that was a big deal. So she introduced me to Krystylle Richardson. And it's a whole backstory behind that was so divinely connected, y'all. Listen, and she took me up on this offer. And I'm telling you, it was just a blessing. It was such a blessing to have Krystylle to speak at our 10th annual retreat. I got feedback from our guests and from the other speakers, and everybody was like, wow, we just love Dr. Krystylle Richardson. So here we are now in our 11th year, and guess what? She is going to be our keynote speaker. So yes, she is definitely fits that pillar for Be Well Magazine, to be well connected. She didn't give me a hard time. She loved her some Beverly Brown too. So she said yes to me. You see how you got to know who you know, because her schedule, she's traveling internationally all the time. Large corporations seek her counsel, her coaching. So it was an honor to have Dr. Krystylle in that room. So remember our pillars, guys, and make sure when you're watching this, put it in the comments, write it in your journal, write it in your calendar. Be Well Magazine is about women entrepreneurs with the ability to be well connected, to be well informed, and you are about to be informed, and to be well inspired. Every time I hear Dr. Krystylle speak, I feel so inspired. She had me feeling like, wow, we really can push beyond our current circumstances. So thank you so much, Dr. Krystylle, for being here today.
Wow. Thank you so much, Carmen. You are such an uplifter, such an enthusiastic woman. And that's what we need. You know, we need women that have not just have the power, but have the enthusiasm after it and the follow-up. I call you, as you know, behind the scenes, the follow-up queen. So ladies and gentlemen, we're here maybe to talk about me, but I'm talking about, which way are you? You're this way, here to talk about her, the follow-up queen. That's one thing that's very important. If you need to write something down, write down follow-up and write down Carmen's name.
Thank you, Dr. Krystylle, because here's what happens a lot of times in business. We get too emotionally attached. If somebody don't respond right away, we get in our feelings. We go, oh, this person don't value me. They don't respect me. But listen, I have zero emotional attachment. I'm doing business. And when God puts on my heart certain people that I need to connect with, I understand that people are busy. People are busy. I have been super consistent in reaching out to Dr. Krystylle because I know she is a very impactful woman entrepreneur that my community needs to experience. So therefore, if I get all in my feelings and emotionally attached because she's not always available, Look at what I'm gonna miss. I am responsible for thousands of women over my entrepreneurial journey to help them connect with women like Dr. Crystal. So we can't be all emotionally attached as we are in pursuit of our mission. So Dr. Crystal, thank you for respecting my follow-up game, because I don't be playing, do I?
She's not playing, okay? She's not playing. She is not playing.
So we're gonna jump right into it, guys. But I just want you all to know that you are in for a treat. We're gonna make sure that you have all of the links. You have Dr. Crystal's website, because this is just gonna be a snapshot of what you're going to experience when you make your way to Phoenix, Arizona, because she is going to be our keynote speaker on January 13th, 2024, for our gathering of women, our 11th annual gathering of women entrepreneurs. So let's get started. Dr. Crystal, you're known as the untapped income coach, also known as the wealth innovation strategist. Can you share a brief overview on how you help high net worth individuals and corporations to create low risk streams of income through creativity to cash flow? I love that. That is something very unique. So tell us just a little bit of how you do what you do.
Mhm. Well, thank you. And thank you so much again for allowing me to be here and to be a part of this community over this past year. It is nothing other than God who has given me what he's given me since I was a little girl. You know, my parents sent me to kindergarten, and I'll tell this story over and over again with my little plastic briefcase, and told me you can be anything you want to be. You can do anything you want to do. And so I believe them. But being met with bullying actually drove me more into my studies, into my creativity, into dance, into music, into sewing, and all of these different creative things. And so one thing that I'm going to be talking to the ladies about, high net worth, low net worth, no net worth, okay, is creativity to cash flow and innovation transference. Creativity to cash flow and innovation transference. Because see, Carmen, you know, with all of the different kinds of people, you know, thousands of women, they're all over the spectrum related to income. They're all over the spectrum related to self-worth and what they think about themselves. And oh, why would someone listen to me? Or why should I do this or do that or start a business? But you're in the kitchen and you have 3-4 cans of, or maybe even 2 cans, or maybe even 1 can of vegetables. You might have a cucumber and an onion and maybe 1 slice of bread. You're going to go up in there and find some spices, and you're going to make a meal for your family of 5 with that. And it's going to be delicious. Okay. So that is innovation. You get ready to go in. I have on some colors that are the same right now, but your colors aren't matching. Something broke, something got snagged. A part of your hair is over on the dresser. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Yeah. You use innovation transference to make an outfit, to make a meal. You can use those same muscles, those same skills, and creativity to cash flow is what I teach, in order to do that in business and to make money and to have income. It doesn't have to be untapped anymore. You can have streams of income flowing in from various ways to sustain your family and to make your dreams come true from that perspective, because money is not where dreams come from, but it makes it a whole lot easier. Can I get an amen?
Oh, amen. Well, listen, when I tell you, you're going to have an audience that's going to be so able to resonate with that. Yes, I love it. And you also mentioned that you channeled your uniqueness and your creativity from a young age. And you talked about like the impact of bullying, and how did your childhood experience, in addition to that, as a creative intellectual, shape your journey as a kidpreneur to being sought after across over 40 countries? Are you kidding me? Like, we never know what our children are experiencing, but how did that experience and just get you to go deeper into your creativity?
Again, in some of the ones that are like longer bios, you know, I talk about, you know, how God just really allowed me to go through that, because as you know, Carmen, you have to go through to get to. You have to go through to get to, because if you don't go through anything like the butterfly, you know, coming out, you have to go through that to get to. And there's some plants right here. I could turn my camera for you to see, but these plants have been in our family for over 70 years. Now, next year, you and all the Be Well community need to come to my birthday party. I want to have like a bazillion people there. I turn 60 next year.
Oh,
And so
yes.
plants have been in my family for over 70 years. And so they come up, and when they're happy, they drip. And when they're not happy, they crinkle up. But and so I talk to them, rub on them and all the different things. And when they get ready to come out, they're all crumpled up. If I just uncrinkle it, that leaf is going to be distorted and only be this big. But if I allow it to go through its own process, those leaves are bigger than your head.
Wow.
Notches, yeah, yeah. And so they grow up and they curl up and go down, and I cut it off and put it down in the dirt and make more and make more and more, make more. And they've been in our family for over 70 years. And so do you think that we don't have to go through anything? A lot of people want to take the easy road. Yes, study, have knowledge, use the Be Well community where it says be well connected. Use another book I'm in, The Power of Proximity. Proximity is key. I haven't been able to do all the different things that I've done without having the power of proximity. My brother had a paper route, so he had me working on the paper route, and he would give me some money. And we were there in a community where my dad was the dad of the community. And so that meant that some of the women there didn't have anybody to shovel their snow necessarily or rake their leaves. And so we would shovel snow, get some money. We would rake some leaves, get some money. We would paint houses, get some money. We would cut some rose bushes. We would do all kind of different things. And we didn't know like the word kidpreneur back then, but we were, and we didn't know the word hustle, but we were, we were just having fun. And so it started way back then. Mm-hmm.
Wow, just doing something that you were naturally
helpful. And we didn't do it for the money,
Yes.
We didn't care. Like if we say, okay, let's say $5, and if they give us $3, it's like, yes, we got $3, and we would split it.
And you know what I love about this? I'm so glad you shared that, because as parents, we have, and especially parents of adult children, we can look at our own childhood and see those glimpses of God preparing us and positioning us for our gifts. So when you just shared that, you reminded me, I don't have no idea who I thought I was. But when I think now at 61 years old, who did I think I was at 14? But at 14, I had an idea to host a fashion show. And literally, I went to a park pavilion. I got my cousins, Andre Ellis, Rose Campbell at the time, was before she got married. I got my cousins together. We rented a park pavilion. We sold tickets. We went to a store. I think it was called the Oasis or something. We had all these fancy clothes. And why did I go and ask those people, can I use some of their clothes for the fashion show? Do you know we sold that park pavilion out? And when I think back on, we made some money too. And I'm like, how did I get the nerve? But I too came from parents who had a can do. They didn't tell me because I was too young. They literally drove me to the places that I wanted to go.
You want to? Okay, let's go.
And so here I am now doing what I love to do and creating these spaces and opportunities for entrepreneurship and to continue to just soar and building those relationships. That is absolutely what I love to do.
Awesome.
So thank you for sharing that, because you reminded me of something that I did many years ago.
Wow.
So let me ask you this. Your proprietary techniques and innovations of transference and your Element 10 have received widespread recognition, being featured in Yahoo Finance, y'all, USA Today, and various publications. Could you provide a glimpse into how these techniques work and their impact on your clients across diverse industries?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And I just love talking about this, because even if somebody just gets one little idea from it, and even if they don't call me and to get more information or come to one of my things or buy one of my books, I care, honestly, but I really don't care. I just really care that you get at least one thing to move your personal needle forward. It doesn't matter what coach you go to or what other books you read, but I'm going to give you a few things, and then we'll talk more at the actual event. Yes. And so Element 10, I truly believe that every single person on this earth, even starting as a child, because you heard us talk about kidpreneur and the fashion show. I want to hear more about that fashion show.
Yes.
Every single human being should have at least 10 sustainable and substantial streams of income at any one time. I did not say 10 jobs. I said streams of income. So you have investments. You could have a W-2, like an actual job. You have different things that you're doing maybe now as a hobby that you could turn into something else. And then you could have an online course. You could have a book. You could have like all these different things that you can do to bring in money. So between now and in January for the event, if you have not ever heard of the cash flow quadrant, we're going to be talking about that, the cash flow quadrant. And that gives you various areas of different things that you can do. And you want to be towards the right side of the quadrant. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. And then also related to the innovation transference, I kind of already touched on that, but there's so many things that you can use exactly who you are, who God created you to be, to do something that's different, even just slightly, than the next person. There are 50 to 60, 70 different kinds of bread in the grocery store, and people are buying them. People have their favorite for a reason. People have their alternative for a reason. But there's so many different kinds of bread. So don't think, well, somebody's already doing that. No, they're not. They're not doing it how you do it. Be Well magazine, the Be Well community, what Carmen is doing. There's a lot of women out there doing similar, but not that. And they are not Carmen. They are not Carmen C. Ray. Okay. And so we all have to have where we believe in ourselves enough to use that burning desire inside of us to go ahead and go for it. And part of the reason why we don't, Carmen, is that there's over 970 people, 970 million people worldwide that suffer from anxiety and depression disorders. Part of it is because they're not doing what we're doing right now, talking about how they can do what is inside of them and bring it out. Because once you do what's inside of you, you wake up every morning and you're like excited to get up. Like, oh, was I asleep? Okay, well, now it's time. It's on. It's a new day. This is my turn, to do what God has placed in me. And so one of the things that we'll be doing is going through, starting in January, the book Outwitting the Devil. Outwitting the Devil. It's by Napoleon Hill, and it was annotated and all of that with Sharon Lecter. And I tell you, reading the book and listening to it at the same time is what we're going to do, because the voice of the devil and the narrator going back and forth and you underlining in the book while you're reading, this is going to be a phenomenal book club for this book. And so I want to already invite women to consider joining, and men, like whoever wants to join. Like we want to have where people are going through this book. And
well, you count us in, count the Be Well community in. We definitely want to be part of that book club. And we are also going to be having a pre-online book club with Krystylle's book here. And so listen, guys, we want you to purchase this book. We're going to be kicking off the book club in November, right after the Thanksgiving, because y'all going to be sitting around full anyway. And so we're going to be kicking off the book club. So when you make your way to the Be Well retreat, you can have your book signed, and it's going to be an awesome time. Then that gives us an opportunity to be finished with this book so we can join Krystylle and her book club in January. So that's what this is all about: connecting, informing, and inspiring. So that's one of the things that we want to keep on reminding you, that is the formula to be successful as a woman entrepreneur, and building these links, building this community. And something that you just shared when you talked about you just shared something about the way we feel, how we get up, and when we're doing something that we enjoy. So let me be transparent. Proximity. When Dr. Krystylle talked about proximity, I am in proximity of some amazing women entrepreneurs that continue to stretch me. I have been in the game a long time, but I have had a very bumpy entrepreneurial road. I have been through all of the things trying to live into my purpose. I've been through the evictions, the repossessions, because when you're an entrepreneur, you don't have consistent income. I have also been able to scale my business to 6 figures and had a lot and lost a lot. And that's just the reality. And I want to create transparent spaces so that we can have that conversation, because all that glitters on social media ain't gold, I'm telling you. And so I want to use what Dr. Krystylle just shared about how when you get up and you know if you're in alignment, if you're on purpose, because you have some excitement. So why do every morning that I dread for the last month, I took on a job, and I took on a job because I was in proximity of some women that was traveling. And I knew in order for me to afford to go back to Jamaica, where I just came from, because now I have a goal that I got to go back every 3 months. I made a mistake and went to Jamaica, and it just pulled at my spirit. I was like, I love these people. I love this place. I need to keep going back every time I can. Well, with my business income, I was barely going to be able to go once a year. So because I didn't tap into Dr. Krystylle, because she could have showed me possibly how to take my income streams so that I didn't have to go and be out of alignment and go take a job to fund my travel dreams, right? As I'm building my travel business. So this morning, because I knew I was going to be interviewing Krystylle, normally I wake up with all kind of aches and pains, knees hurting. Why did I jump up out that bed before I had my coffee, super excited, and everything is good? Like I was dancing through here because I was in alignment. This is what God has for me to do. But when I forgo that deep desire and that passion, that faith walk, and I go sit myself, yes, I'm blessed to be able to work from home, but I'm out of alignment. It's not where my skill set is. I'm mediocre at best as an employee. But if I could do this all day, create platforms to highlight women entrepreneurs, that's my place of breakthrough. That's my place of wealth. And just as you are, you know you have something that you should be doing. And some of us are blessed where we are in careers. We are in careers where we can really have that career fund our dreams. But know the difference between a career and a job. A career is something that you have got yourself educated for. It's something that you have pursued to do. But a job is something that means job, just over broke. Because you're just doing it just to be able to pay the basics, and that is not a fulfilling life. So when you shared about being able to jump up, Dr. Krystylle, and be excited about what we're doing, that's what you made me have to just testify.
Yeah.
I desperately want to lead women entrepreneurs by example, and being able to, without a lot of burden, give our jobs back to the economy so that we can, for those of us that have jobs, not careers, don't get me wrong, this is not quit your career day, but it is quit your job day, because I just think that we are gifted in so many ways, and we just need strategists, coaches like Dr. Krystylle to help us to get to where it is that we need to go so that we live more in alignment. Does that make sense to you, Dr. Krystylle?
It makes sense. And I'm going to agree with you and have a slightly different take on that because of the cash flow quadrant. You know, part of it is being an employee. Ladies and gentlemen, you go into that job with your head held high and do your best, be the best at whatever it is that you do, and use that money to fulfill your dreams. And that is what he said, but she also was talking about the dreading part. You hold your head up high. You be on time. You be early. You give your extra. You give your all. And then when you're done, you wash it off and you use that money to fulfill your dreams. Yeah. So now you have where you have to work 8, 10, 12 hours, whatever it is at that job, but use that money and use that mindset to show how driven you are. And they're like, what's that joy in you? What's that fire? Like, why are you so happy to come to work every day? Okay, well, let me tell you, I have an additional company called Be Well, and we do this and we do that, and blah, 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 blah. There's so many people I've been on assignments, and they ask me questions, and then I tell them about the other things that I do. And then that's another investor. That's another person. That's another person to donate telemedicine equipment to our mission. That's another just do it. Just open your mouth is one of the things I'm going to be talking about. Open your mouth.
Wow, what a great take. I think I can be able to forge have a better day today and not operate in so much dread and make the best of it. And I just still believe that it's really a gift to be in alignment, whether it's your job or your career, to do something that you feel that's in alignment. But to have that foundation of that consistent income is nothing like it as we're building our business. Nothing like it, because then you're not just relying on a feast and famine business model. So I can't wait for Dr. Krystylle to be able to educate us on those different quadrants. And our last question for this episode, everyone, is your mission is to help at least 1 billion people align with abundance and positive impact. How do you see your work in organizations like She's a CEO? I love the name. And Women of Impact and Innovation International, contributing to this global goal, one act of kindness and one innovation at a time. Tell us how you're planning on doing that. How can Be Well Magazine help you with that goal?
1 billion people, Carmen. And it's not all about me. And that's what the Be Well community is about. That's what I'm about. It's not all about me. Yes, we are all connected. You know, they talk about the 7 degrees of separation. And as you do something, it is going to impact people, but is it going to positively impact them? And so my goal is to have where we create spaces. And I wrote down what you said, transparent spaces. We create these transparent spaces where we can be vulnerable and share, that causes someone else to be vulnerable and share, causes someone else to rise, and then they call someone else and someone else and someone else. And so after you look at it all, when I've lived out my gap, when I've lived out my dash, I want that to be that there's at least 1 billion people that have been affected by something that I said to someone else, and they either took it or didn't ask, and there's copyright issues there. You know, it doesn't matter if it was done legitimately or not. And I'm actually truly saying this, that sometimes people, you know, take our stuff.
Yes,
but
that's for sure.
Do it and they give us credit. It doesn't even matter about the credit for me. It matters, did the message get to over 1 billion people related to something that was influenced by something that I did?
Oh my goodness. I love that. I love that.
The She's a CEO is about that very thing. And so I am going to be getting with you in the Be Well community about how we can give some of those tips to people all over the world. And I've impacted people in more than 40 countries. I've been personally to over 40 countries. I've operated, you know, especially during COVID, in way more countries than that. But as far as physically, you know, feet on the ground, in the sand and in the grass, you know, it's been over 40 years. And so with all of what you do in the travel community that you have, we have it washed up. Like we can be so global in everything that we do. Out on the side of the road, you know, asking for money. You can have a little conversation about them on how they can turn that into a business.
Right.
You know? And so, yeah. And I love it.
I love that.
We have things to do. We have traveling to do. We have people to talk to. We have stuff that we need to do.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Krystylle, again, for being such an important part of the Be Well community. And we are super excited about book clubbing with you for your book, 51 Powerful P's of Public Speaking. Listen, guys, we're going to have our link. Go to our website now. Go ahead and make that purchase, because if you have not joined the Be Well Magazine Facebook group, you want to go ahead and join it, because that's where we're going to be going through the book. We're going to provide an email blast so that you can have all the details on how to participate in the book. And I think we're going to do something special about, once you buy the book, we're going to do a discount code for you. I've worked with Krystylle, so it's not too much, but we want to give you a special discount code. When you purchase this book and you say, yes, you want to be in the book club, we're going to give you a special code so that your registration, you're going to get something, because we want to make sure that you understand that collaboration is truly the new currency, and we want to collaborate and get this book out as in many hands as possible. And then we're going to be finished with this book, and then we're going to be joining Dr. Krystylle. Tell us the book, Dr. Krystylle, so we can have a chance to go ahead and purchase the book that we're going to do in January too.
Yes, and this is the physical book, ladies and gentlemen, not the ebook. You need to get your crayon, your marker, your pen.
Yes.
It's Outwitting the Devil. Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill and Sharon Lecter. You need the physical book. And I want to encourage you to buy it and buy one or two more for a friend and have them join as well. If you know somebody who's going through mental challenges, if you know someone, which that's all of us, if you know someone who really has potential, untapped potential, not untapped income necessarily, untapped potential, buy an extra book or two. This is the holidays, get it out to them, because come January, it is going to be on. I'm telling you, the devil's going to be real mad about this book club, because we're going clubbing, and we're not going to clubbing. We're going clubbing, and I'm going to have my guy write a song about it. We're going clubbing. So, yeah.
I love it. Oh, this is going to be an awesome collaboration, guys. So, again, you want to make sure that you make your way to Phoenix, Arizona, Saturday, January 13th for the Be Well in Business Brunch. Our keynote speaker is going to be Dr. Krystylle Richardson. You all be well, and thank you so much for joining our episode today.